Omelet audience would like you, I would like you to meet Phyllis George. You've probably already seen her. She's got many, many duties. She serves in the sports area on CBS. First question.
Yes,
Strict, right off the bat. Do you feel CBS prepared you, gave you adequate training before they put you right in there on air?
No, they didn't give me adequate training. I got my training through being the former Miss America, through that traveling, the experience that I gained there of meeting people and working with the press a lot. Also, the year after Miss America, I came to New York and took my $10,000 scholarship money and studied the acting, the diction, the singing, the dancing, and everything. Plus, did commercials for about a year, 10 or 12 national commercials. That was my training. CBS hired me. They came to me and said, would you like to work for us? And I said, yes. They said, what do you know about sports? And I said, well, if, Jack Whitaker or Pat Summerall, I'm not. But I'm a people person, and I know as much or more than most women because I've always been interested in it and been a participant. So they said, okay. And the first things that I did were interviews. Dave Cowens was my first, Alvin Hayes, Jimmy Connors. That was easy enough for me because that was one-on-one conversation. Then I had to do my tennis show on Sunday, and there was no preparation for that. They said, do you play tennis? And I said, yes, and then I was doing the show.
So do you blame them for what you feel you could have done better? Do you blame yourself for saying, hey, let me bone up a little bit first?
No, actually, they had hired another woman, and she was from the South and had been in sports for years. They put her in the wrong area. They mishandled her.
You were referring, of course, to
Miss Chastain, who I've not met.
She's on our show Omelet. We have little features.
Oh, with her syndicated show,
right.
Sure. But Jane is an expert, but she came on very strong, and the men weren't yet ready for it. She's probably as knowledgeable as most people, or probably more so than most, but CBS put her in the wrong positions. I was intimidated by her press that she got. I don't think it was Jane necessarily. I think it was the fact that she was the first woman and she was misplaced. CBS has been very good to me. They've had confidence in me, but they low-profiled me in the beginning because they weren't too sure what a former Miss America could do. No person's been in this position before.
Don't you feel that's an awkward and unfair position to have to play down your knowledge, as you're referring to Jane Chastain, who some people don't think she has that much of the background, but others do.
I think she does.
To have to find a role where you don't offend the men.
Not exactly. I found that I can do it, and I've reached my happy medium, and I don't offend that many men, and I don't offend any women, not that I know of yet. And the letters that I've received and all have been very pro-women, good what you're doing. We like the questions you're asking. They're the kind of things that I would like to know. I am no expert, and I've said that. Today in a press conference, I had one gentleman said, hey, you were so good in tennis. You really know what you're talking about, which shocked me. Because I played the game, and I played for years, but having to call it, sit up there and call it is a difficult thing to do, and to do it properly.
Yes, I know my partner and I, Milton Metz, do the Derby coverage for the local audience in Louisville, and it's when to know to keep your big mouth shut, and when to say, and how much to say, and people on the outside don't understand you. They think, oh, well, that's just easy.
Well, then that's what I'm talking about with Jane. There's a time to when to say it and a time not to, and I use my intuition to kind of guide me along. You just can't come in and start taking over. I don't believe in that. I'm not pushy, nor am I aggressive in that sense. But I want to remain the lady and the feminine, and I don't want to go in the locker room, and I have no desire to do that, absolutely no desire.
Well, I'll tell you one thing you brought up in that press conference I never knew, that the sinks and the bathroom fixtures are up higher than usual. I didn't know that.
Because these guys, these basketball players are so tall that they're washing their hands up here. And I was amazed. It was like being in giant land, and I walked in. I felt like a little person.
And you made a point. This was the only time you've ever gone into the locker room. But you just wanted to see if it was actually true.
I couldn't believe it. But I don't think that there's a time and place for that. And I don't want to intimidate the man by coming in and going, well, how do you think you played tonight, Sam? I'm not tough like that, and I don't want to be. I want to take them out.
I admire you for that. And don't you have to have a strong perception of who you are and where you're coming from? Because sometimes networks and people above you can get you in corners and situations and you aren't really comfortable.
Well, I have told them, and we've agreed that they will not put me in any role that I feel uncomfortable in. I don't want to do football. I'll do the studio work this summer with Brent Mossberger every Sunday. That'll be fine because we're co-hosting in the studio, but don't put me in between a Brookshire and a Summerall and expect me to do play-by-play or color.
I admire you, too, because you say you really stress doing your homework. You do everything you can to make yourself feel more comfortable.
Because then I know I will be more confident and prepared. What is the Old Scouts motto? Be prepared. And a lot of people that are in sports today or in broadcasting, in sports broadcasting, never played any sport in high school or college. So the reason that they have become what they are is because they've done their homework and research over the year and proven to people that they are eager to learn what they're talking about, you know, and they know the kind of questions to
Do you
ask.
think there'll ever be a female Howard Cosell?
Well, around the office, people have been calling me Ms. Cosell, and that drives me crazy. I don't know. Somebody asked me today in my press conference if I would be controversial, and I don't think, I've only been there 6 months, so let me get my fingers into the pie more before I decide if that's what I want to do. I would think it would be exciting if there was a female Howard Cosell, if she could handle it properly and if she was for real.
Well prepared.
Well, and Cosell is 99% showbiz. I mean, he's got that showbiz bug in him.
Change subjects on you. You're very defensive of the whole Miss America pageant and the whole concept behind it.
I am defensive because I think people don't understand it, and I want them to be aware of it. I like the program. I'm involved with it every year. I co-host with Bert. This year I will. For my 4th year. It's the largest scholarship program in America. It's not a beauty contest. I would never have entered it if I thought it was just going to be judged strictly what you saw and not what's inside. In a sense, I am defensive, and I don't like to be, but I guess when I start giving, you know, what it's all about to people, listing things, it sounds like I'm trying to protect it. I don't think it needs protecting, really, because it's been on for 55 years, and it's the most watched television show every year. And
did you really watch it when you were a little girl?
Always.
And had dreams, maybe?
Sure. I'd go to bed at night, and I'd eat my carrots the next day to make my eyes sparkle and walk around with a book on my head for posture. The reason I defend it, too, a lot of times is because I think dumb beauty queen, and I resent it. I'm a part of that pageant. I want people to respect it for what it's all about.
One quick answer. I know we've interviewed some of the local winners of the pageants. Seemingly, we sometimes overreact, and the women are becoming so determined to show that they're intelligent and have something upstairs that they've sort of lost their warmth. Do you see that
I
at
know
all?
exactly what you're talking about.
That's bad.
I run into that every day in New York City by girls that I've always competed my whole life, but I am competing with women now that are doing it for a livelihood. And they seem to lose that femininity or that touch of womanhood, which is so important. Let's don't become one, you know, let's remain separate sexes and remain a lady and feminine, yet do our thing and do it well and to the best of our ability.
Good luck to you.
Thank you,
Very
Faye.
nice talking with you.
Thank you.
Phyllis George from CBS Sports.